Yo, what's up, y'all?
Hey guys, welcome back to season 2, episode 1 of the Dating for Life podcast with your hosts, Tony and Alana Hubbard.
Season 2.
Dos.
Episode 1. We back.
We back,
Guess
y'all.
who's back?
Back again. Yes.
Jesus.
Oh my God, we're so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we have a really great episode planned for you guys.
Yeah, man. I'm so excited. Like, I don't know. It feels like this whole thing is new again.
Yeah, it does feel brand new, but we're so excited and we're back. We're much rested. You know, we've been planning. We've been at work getting ready for this particular season. We're so excited.
Honestly, being rested is like an understatement.
That's the truth.
It's definitely like an understatement because I don't know. I definitely miss recording.
Yeah.
I miss just being in this element and being able to get this thing together. So, and it feels a little new again.
It does. It really does. And as you guys can probably see, we have a brand new YouTube channel. So welcome if you guys are watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We've been busy at work, you guys, getting ready for this new season, and we hope you guys enjoy the content. So let's get into the highlight of the week. What would you say is like the highlight of the week for us?
The
or for you
highlight
anyway.
of my week?
Yeah.
Like we've been doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing. Like this is, I think, the third weekend we've just sat home and did nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we ran errands and we did stuff around the house, but just being able to, settle a little bit, not be in a rush.
Yeah.
Not have to do anything crazy.
Yeah. It feels so good.
It feels good. It feels really good. It feels really good.
Yeah. I think for me the highlight of the week was Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was the highlight of the week for me. Super excited about the new season, the final season of Game of Thrones, and I spent a huge portion of 2019 watching all of the previous seasons. So to be able to be caught up and know what's going on, I'm ready. I'm so excited for it.
But you out here acting like first of all, Alana just caught up the day before season 2 came out. Season 8 came out. Don't be out here acting like you just a veteran. You've been there for 2 years.
I'm no veteran. I'm a total newbie, but I love the show, so I love it. I'm excited to watch and kick it with all the characters and stuff.
I don't know. Maybe is that another highlight? No, not really, man. I think that's my highlight. My highlight is honestly just relaxing.
We got other highlights, but we'll talk about it in this episode, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's what the episode is about.
Yeah,
I'm just happy to be back.
Yes, man. So excited. So let's just get into the show. It's been a long time coming, so let's just get into it. So for this particular topic, the struggle is real. We wanted to kind of expand upon just the season that we're in, right? So you want to kind of go into it a little bit? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, so much. 2019 has been a year, yo. Like, from seeing the memes from different things happening in this world, from recently losing the great Nip, like so many different things are happening.
Yeah.
And this has just felt like a year of like drinking out of a fire hose, you know?
Think so?
Yeah, it felt like that. It felt like that. Good things, some not so good things, some challenging things, but it's been an amazing journey. And I think the best way to start up this season is really just going through all of the things that has been happening, kind of going with the theme of this year from what we've heard from our listeners, just like the struggle is real this year, yo.
The struggle has been real. Like with R. Kelly to, Nipsey Hussle, to the whole Michael Jackson situation, to it just feels like our community has taken a big loss this year. And it's heavy and it's a little depressing and a little, anxiety ridden. And so we wanted to kind of start the season off in kind of not necessarily somber, because we always want you to bring joy and light to the world with this podcast, but we definitely want to kind of like pay homage to the losses that we feel our community has kind of taken in the past 4 months of 2019.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's surreal, but the struggle is real.
And I mean, between that and just understanding for us, like, the season we're in, understanding, making sure that we process the fact that there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for people. There's a time and place for physicians. There's a time and place for, just everything in your life. And understanding that sometimes it's okay to let situations go or to bring in new situations is pivotal.
Yeah.
I think we're at that point in our lives where, it's more important than ever for us to really hone in on the more important things for us right now, especially, as we move into figuring out who Alana and Tony looks like in the next 10 years,
I think for me, it's been how finite time is. When it comes to fame, when it comes to just mortality. I think for me, it's been, just witnessing the whole R. Kelly situation with how finite his reign as, I don't know what they called him, the Pied Piper of R&B, I guess.
It's kind of scary.
It is kind of scary, but also finite with life, and with Nipsey Hussle's passing, or murder, I should say. It's really hard to, like, you process things from you seeing someone who's bad, like R. Kelly, someone who's been accused of some major things, allegedly. I have to say that legally, even though we know what it is. And then also Nipsey Hussle, someone who's somewhat angelic to our community, now that he's gone. It's just interesting to see, and it helps us, and kind of, forced us to kind of like go into, people in our life, and, to have some serious conversations about things and people who don't serve us anymore. And, it kind of giving you guys a little bit of a throwback into relationships and reciprocation, season 1. If you haven't listened to that episode, you guys will want to go back and refer back to that episode. But it's interesting because it forces you to, it forces you to kind of understand your role in the relationships that you have in your life. And are you being a servant to those in your life? Are you being a steward of good things to those in your life? Are you showing up for people in your life? Are you shutting people out? And making those adjustments that are necessary to be able to be there for people. And it's important. I think you can feel free to jump in.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening to you. Man, and that's real. Like, especially during this time, man. I think around this time last year was when, I found out my sister was seriously ill. So just coming up on a year again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Think
about that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, wow, it's actually, I think it just really processed just now when I was actually saying it. You say things sometimes and it just kind of come out.
Yeah.
I don't even think consciously I was thinking about it until I started talking. But just realizing that like a year has gone by since around the time my sister got sick, to when she passed later in I think early June of last year or late May.
Yeah, I think it was late May.
Yeah, late May of last year. So just coming full circle this year and realizing like, one, life is really short, but two, God is going to bring seasons into your life that are tougher. God is going to bring seasons into your life that are great. And for me, this year particularly has been a little challenging in trying to figure out who I am and how I show up. I've been doing a lot of self-inventory and making sure that the way I perceive relationships and people are true and representative of what they are in my life. Excuse me, and just making sure I'm not, one, brushing people up too quickly or two, giving people too much credit for, the position they hold. So, man, it's been, I hate to keep saying the struggle is real, but it's definitely been a challenging 4 months. And I'm not to get on my soapbox, but to be, early 30s and somewhat hit a level of success that, wasn't necessarily anticipated at this age, and figuring out how you're going to maintain. It can definitely add a level of stress, that
pressure,
a different level of pressure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think we've, I guess for lack of a better phrase, new levels, new devils. It's difficult to kind of see, or just you reach a certain level of success, and then there's so much more that comes with it, and to whom much is given, much is required.
Sheesh.
That's like our theme of 2019 right now, and it's heavy at times because you want to maintain relationships, but also, maintain sanity.
Yeah.
And so that you're forced to kind of like come into like you have a weighing fight, or like a balancing act, I guess I should say. That's constant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it is a constant fight or battle, because and I think we talked about this in many episodes, actually, not just the reciprocation episode of last season. We talked about it in a few episodes, but just making sure that the relationships you've developed over your life, still represent who you are. The relationships you want to develop aren't stifled by your past experiences. Making sure that,
That's a big one for me.
Not for real.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that Alana and I talk about regularly, and making sure, my relationships aren't perfect at all. Just the other day, it's funny, I actually, talked to one of my homeboys, Matt. You guys met Matt in the last episode last year.
Recap episode 11, y'all.
Yeah, and I went to Matt and I asked him, like, it sounds weird, but I was like, yo, I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm going to give you details behind a situation. I don't want you to be biased. I just want honest feedback. Am I bugging for interpreting something this way? And he was like, yeah, you are bugging. I was like, oh, cool. Okay. But I appreciate that, though, because, before we know it, we need people in our lives that are going to hold us accountable, that are going to give us honest feedback, even when you don't necessarily want that feedback, or you don't think, you're overstepping the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely feel like we're in a season of very deep evaluation of who we are and how we show up in other relationships. And I think also that God has been working on tightening our circle.
Mm-hmm.
And those who are there for the ride are there. Those who are not, aren't. And learning to be okay with that as well. So it's been difficult, y'all. I mean, it's been, since we stopped season 1, we've been busy at work just trying to fine-tune the podcast, fine-tune everything that's going on, especially when it comes to fine-tune our careers. Like, we gotta give them an update on everything that's going on,
That's a whole different situation in itself.
I feel that way. But it feels good, and it's exciting, though. I mean, it's all good things. But for those of y'all who don't know, we started a whole website for the podcast, datingforlifepod.com. We have a YouTube channel. That's a thing.
So where are you career-wise?
Well, as far as the career is concerned, I've made a pretty big transition from one career lane to another while we were on break. And it was a serious process, but it was it was one that was necessary for where Tony and I are at in our life. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, and it's going to come with new challenges, growth, and of course the inevitable discomfort. So but I feel like I'm way more ready for the discomfort of this new opportunity, and I'm much more comfortable in the discomfort because of my previous job. So, and
it's crazy because you sound like a whole different person in 2019.
I am.
You sound like a whole different person in 2019, and I just love the growth that I've seen in you.
Yeah, thank you.
And you know, you say that to your significant other, you say that to, you know, your spouse, you say that to your family. But when you actually mean it, like I've literally seen my wife grow into this beautiful, more intelligent, more intellectually prepared person and emotionally prepared person.
Yeah. I've grown so much. I've been through so much.
Yeah.
Professionally and personally. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I see the growth in myself, which is kind of, it can be alarming when you're saying something and it's coming out of your mouth and you're like, wow, where is this coming from? Where is this knowledge base? What am I saying?
It's kind of sexy, I'm not gonna lie. It's actually pretty damn sexy.
Thank you, honey.
When you know, you don't expect intellect to come out.
Oh goodness
and
gracious!
know,
I feel like we've kind of gotten back to like where we were like in the first like days of when we were dating. Like when we were, remember, like in 2008, 2009, we were talking about different things. Like intellectually, I think we kind of like challenge each other more than ever. And it's been great.
Yeah, that's a gem, yo. That's definitely a gem. Like getting back to your beginning. Yeah, man. I think from just trying to figure out, you know, where we are in our lives, particularly right now, making sure that we understand that we're in a space where we want to make sure that we're being financially conscious.
Absolutely.
We want to make sure that we're able to enjoy our life or plan for the future, and being able to make, you know, decent money, but yet don't feel like you're necessarily there yet. Like it weighs heavy because I think that's something a lot of us deal with in this day and age. You know, having to go to school, having to take loans, having to make sure you get a decent enough job to pay back those loans or not. You know, some people take the opposite direction and decide that they're not going to pay back those loans.
Or they're just not going to be a slave to feeling like they have to. You know, I mean, I was having a really great conversation with a coworker about, you know, the fact that you have to, this is a balancing act between whether or not you want to be a decent citizen of this world or not. Or if you want to just be someone who is like a slave to, you know, paying back student loans, where you don't travel, you don't eat out at restaurants, you don't have kids, you know, too quickly. Like there's so many different things that millennials have to deal with, and so many decisions we have to make, especially those of us who are responsible about our money and responsible about our career, just responsible as adults. It's hard.
It's literally having to choose whether or not you want to have fun now or have fun later.
Right.
And that's been a significant battle for us, just making sure we are conscious of the space that we're in and how we manage that. It's definitely been a struggle, man. It's been a struggle in trying to cut back on, you know, we've done everything. We've traveled, you know, we've taken the trips. We've, you know, eaten at the restaurant we wanted to eat at. We've bought the clothes. We've bought the technology, as you can see. We've done pretty much everything we wanted to do. And in trying to consider, do we start a family now?
Yeah,
or do we wait? The baby question.
The infamous baby question.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick, because it is a struggle, because our friends, our family, everybody wants us to have a child, to procreate.
Ain't nobody trying to pay for it.
Right. It's what we're, you know, obviously it's what we're here on this earth to do, you know, to create life, figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's important. It's an important thing because, you know, obviously people want their lineage to carry on through time. Fortunately, you know, Tony's parents have several grandchildren at this point. My parents do not have any yet. So people are waiting, you know, in high anticipation of, I guess, my uterus. And you know, what it will produce. And so it's just what we produce together, I should say. I'm sorry, honey. I don't mean to leave you out because you're a big part of it.
No pun
huge,
intended.
actually. And so, like... So what I'm saying is, like, it's important to, you know, we've been trying to, again, another balancing act of, you know, money versus time versus procreation versus travel versus maybe we want to buy another property, or what, versus businesses versus several streams of income. There's so many variables to, you know, what we're trying to do and what we think we can do. And, you know, the baby question has been a heavy topic in our household, only because, you know, we're of a certain age, and you know the time is ticking, and there is a pressure there from a societal perspective, from a familial perspective, and just from our own personal. It's always been a goal of ours to be parents, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a real goal. Like, plus we don't want to be old parents either. You know, we don't want to be